Go Startup is our first pitch and final pitch today. And presenting is Nathan Challen from Go Startup. Please welcome Nathan. goStandby. Sorry, it says Go Startup. I've got it on the brain, sorry. goStandby. All right, thank you, Nathan. If you could come up and we'll kick it off.
Hello.
This on?
Okay, first of all, good morning, and thank you for having us. My name is Jacob Turner. This is Nathan Challen. That's Brittany Marsden. And we're the co-founders of goStandby, a 3-week-old company. goStandby is a travel and website app, that offers awesome experiences at standby rates in a 24-hour window. We are not another daily deals website. We are not another what if. We are different. And our difference lies in the fact that we concentrate on operators' distressed inventory. So when the boat sails from the dock, so does the opportunity for that revenue. We're in the social travel space. So this is a space that saw over 40 million users engaged in travel sites and apps in the month of July in the USA alone. Smartphones are in the hands of our customers, the traveler, and there's a growing trend that indicates an increasing number of people booking their hotel accommodation 15 minutes before checking in. This is a trend. So what is the opportunity? We have contact details of over 12,000 operators in Australia, tour operators, and if we can sell 5 tickets on 3 tours per week at a booking fee of $5.50, we are talking about almost $1 million in revenue per week. This business model and business is scalable internationally, very easily. Australia makes up 1% of the global tourist market, with the USA 10-fold and Southeast Asia 8-fold. Over to you, Nathan.
Thank you, Jacob. We're definitely talking about distressed inventory. We're talking about true last minute. We're redefining last minute to what it really means, which is you've explored every avenue possible to sell that product under normal circumstances, then you list those last seats on goStandby. So this opportunity is developed from the convergence of geolocation services on smartphones and social travel, which is a booming industry around social media. So if you were a tour operator and you could just walk out on the street and pull together 10 last people to fill those last seats on the boat, wouldn't you? And that's what we provide. For some operators, that's the difference between profit and loss. We connect those customers. Okay, we've got an excellent team. We're all entrepreneurs in our own right. We've all developed apps, marketed apps before. I've got a background 10 years in inbound tourism industry. Built and marketed my own software in that space. Justin McPherson, he is an app developer, iOS backend systems, worked with the likes of Nokia and other smart technology companies. Jacob and Brittany have developed apps and marketed them themselves. Marketing, branding, KPMG background in finance as well over here. And Greg, Greg and Ian, we've brought them on to assist us with scalability because this is a business that has to move very quickly. Greg has a background in executive of Coles Myer, McDonald's, and the like. Ian has had some Silicon Valley exits. His background is actually a UQ law graduate, but he's become a US citizen. He's back here to assist us. Next slide, please. Okay, so we had validation very quickly on Startup Weekend. We sold 2 tickets in 45 minutes. We had 70,000 Twitter impressions with one of our campaigns in those last hours. And our confidence was further boosted. We were contacted by an ASX-listed fund that has assets in the travel and digital marketing space online within that week. And in addition to that week, we were also contacted by one of the largest tour companies in the world via their Melbourne office with expressions of interest in what we're doing. But yes, our IP isn't strong. We admit that. That's why we're here today. Whether it be mentoring, or we are actually looking for an ideal name. So there's a Richard Branson, who you're here in the room today, or Graham Wood, Graham Turner. We're really looking for a name. Money, we're bootstrapping, but a little bit of money wouldn't hurt. 20,000 for an equity slice would be great. So please, anybody in the room who has something to add, something, we'd love to talk to you after today. Thank you.
Wow. If you guys have done that in 3 weeks, he'll be listed in 2 and acquired in another month, so we better get in quickly. Firstly, I'll turn it over to our panel if they would like to ask a question or so each, and then we'll turn it over to the floor for some questions as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. You said the IP is not strong, and that goes to the heart of competition. In the 3 weeks that you've been running, how much have you been able to see the differentiation between yourselves and anybody else who has come near to this?
Yeah, I think it's hard to get this across in a pitch, but I think certainly we're very strong technology, but you notice that we don't focus heavily on the technology side. There's definitely innovation in what we're doing from a technology side, but predominantly this is about marketing. It's about the correct niche and how we're approaching that niche. So the strongest thing we can do, we believe, from a strengthening IP side is to move quickly, and you hear it all the time, but with the right names and association behind us. So the last 3 weeks, although we've been developing heavily on the technology side, in the majority we've been spending the time on the structure. We've started process in setting up a company in the United States. We've connected with the right people to be able to support us in the process where we believe we'll be able to get the strength behind us to go on a global scale to protect our brand and our name internationally. As a technology player, I've made the phone calls, made the inquiries from the point of view of protecting the IP. There's potential there, but it's very, very minimal. Then you also have to be able to defend it, of course. So it is a case of we are moving very quickly. We can't help that. We've got an audience that is expecting us to move. We need to move, and then we will register the right trademarks and the right IP registrations along the process as we discover those little secret nuggets as we go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. And you're a great team, young people, fabulous, and very good presentation. And some of us know you from previous presentations. So, congratulations. And I think we all wish you every success. I think that's where we stand on it. And I was trying to listen to the things you were saying, and I remember you said you wanted 20,000. Doesn't sound like very much. No. What's your market cap at the minute?
Yeah, so we're only talking about 400,000 at the moment because I can't really stand here and justify a $1 million, $2 million, $3 million valuation at this stage because we're still getting our first customers. We're still putting technology in the marketplace. If this meeting was in some months' time, we would have a very different presentation. We do believe that our ultimate investor is probably going to be offshore, along with your experience, Martin, and certainly some advice that we've had around colleagues and people associated with this business is that the kind of strength that we are looking for probably or may not be in Australia, and thus our registration as an LLC.
But what does 20,000 give me? Does it give me half the company?
No, it's more about advice. What we're looking for, hard on our sleeve.
What's your market cap? Come on, guys.
So our market cap is 400. Yeah.
How much? You're getting 5% for 20,000?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's a nice number.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So just painting the blue sky then, and appreciate things are working quickly, and the 20,000 will go reasonably quickly. Mm-hmm. In 12 months, 18 months' time, I guess, what's your vision and what sort of funding do you need to get there? Because I think someone coming in would obviously need to...
Sure. I'm happy to answer.
Oh yeah, no. We do have for now, as we've indicated earlier, bootstrapping. We've got all the skill set for the short term to grow this thing quite fast. So our expectation is, say, 6 months down the track. Hence we've set up the US company. We are looking for a big scale investment, US style, size of funds, not something that's 20,000 or anything like that, a lot higher. An exact figure I don't have, but it would be something to help us scale very quickly and market this thing. As we say, it's a marketing engine, what we're trying to build here.
So that was $1 million per month you're looking at from the revenue pieces. So in 12 months' time, you're looking at getting to the stage which you say the market size 10 times larger than here?
Yeah, so basically that's, this is we try to be conservative, but I mean, this is one database which has 12,000 operators with multiple tours a week. So we thought that's a good, concentrate on Australia, and that's just a good indicator of the potential here. But didn't want to talk about other markets, but there is huge potential if we're taking a booking fee and there's, hundreds of thousands of tours departing each week. The revenue potential is massive in this case.
Just to add to that, the model that we've used too is just a $5.50, it's like a ticketing fee. That gets around some of the regulatory requirements at this stage, and that is a scalable model as an international model. Obviously, when talking to operators, they're prepared to give up to 30% commission when we're talking to them. If you're talking about whether it be a cruise or something along those lines, obviously there's a lot more money available in that, but we're just trying to keep it at something that's easy to do the numbers in our heads. Yeah.
Have we got any questions from the audience? Suzanne, would you be able to run the microphone around, please? Thank you.
So just a quick question about the consumer market. Have you got consumers? Have you got customers, clients, or all that will be still in the making? As well as when you indicated 1,200 contacts of, is that like the normal travel agents that you have on the Google or Yellow Pages?
I can answer that one. Yeah, 12,000. We've got a couple of different distribution databases that are available to us. The Australian Tourism Data Warehouse, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with, actually does give you the contact details of all of the necessary personnel in their current databases. In addition to that, there's Cato. There's a number of other organisations to be members of which bring up that database. There's other distribution electronic systems which we can leverage as well. And I won't give them all. I'll talk to you afterward about where we're accessing all of those. But it does mean that we have the decision maker's name, contact details, so we can get right to the source. In talking about from the consumer side, we certainly from market research, talking to people on the street, predominantly in Australia, it is Facebook is what people are using. We're building up our Facebook campaign at present. Over the weekend, one of the assumptions that part of what Startup Weekend is about is you go forward with some ideas and some assumptions, and the idea is to validate that business concept over the weekend. We drove a lot of that through Twitter over the weekend because that's where we thought, and from my experience in tourism, certainly all the tourism people I know are very heavily involved on Twitter. So we had an excellent number of impressions. Are they the right market in Australia? Probably not in Australia, but internationally, Twitter is huge in the United States and in other markets for tourism. Not so much in Australia, certainly talking to the people on the street. So we are building up our Facebook campaign in Australia, and we're building up our in conjunction with a number of others. We're very strong on the graphics side, so we're running, and if you look at, say, Tourism Australia, who has 40 million followers on Facebook, it is very much about the following that they have is driven through imagery, and so we're working very strongly around the imagery aspect of the business. So,
Yeah, just to add, so basically the strategy is, and the beauty of this business model is, we will have the app technology, and so everyone's got access to it through the app stores throughout the world. They'll be able to download the app and scroll through the deals, but to reinforce that, we're very visual. We look at ourselves as a very visual company, and we want to leverage social media, because that's something that 5 years ago a lot of businesses couldn't do. So we want to, as well as marketing through the app, we want to be able to have a huge following on all the social media platforms and pick great deals that we receive and great experiences and push those through our social media channels visually to encourage sharing, and so that people say, this is practical, this is an awesome deal, and they share it with their friends and family, and that's what we want to leverage on the consumer side.
Something that we haven't said already tonight, it was just touched on very shortly, but it was really about the idea of coupons, and that sort of thing is something that we're very much about. We believe that we can actually assist the industry. We see that the operator can actually maintain their rate all the way through the period, and very much at the last minute just drop the price. What's happening at the moment with the Groupons and alike is that they're actually, lowering the offering from the operator. They're discounting. Somebody can walk in there at any day and use that ticket. I know there's all sorts of techniques to get around that they're trying, but this is about returning the industry to full profit all the way through the process, and then at the very last minute being able to offer a solution when it is in those dire circumstances of a distressed inventory. Our next question.
I just listening to your business model. It's my understanding that What If is differentiated from the other, at least Australian accommodation booking sites, in that they have agreements with the accommodation house for set allocation of rooms. So if you go to What If, you can actually book a room. You go to stays.com, they get back to you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's true. That's exactly right. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, you would think there's an opportunity for you to target that 24-hour gap. It's the gap, right?
Yep.
I can remember sitting in Essex with my wife, trying to book a hotel in that region on a Saturday afternoon, and you couldn't do it through any of these accommodation sites because the 24-hour gap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's definitely a market here,
Exactly.
but it's how to make a moat. A moat could be try and execute a sole distribution right for that discount.
That's a very good point, actually, in that certainly from the contract side, in what they've got the operators hub with agents and then inbound agents, so there's a 5-level sort of structure that goes on in there. They do have to be very, very controlled about how they sell their product and the rate that they maintain. We believe that is exactly our window, is that 24-hour window where the opportunity for a guest from Japan, buying it at that price is probably lost. And from a legal side, if we were able to structure something into the agreement moving forward, that is definitely what our goal would be, to have that sole distribution right for that 24-hour window is exactly where we would love to be. Yes, thank you for that.
I enjoyed your presentation. My question is somewhat similar to the previous questioner. This appears to be a very low barrier to entry kind of market. I wondered what exactly is your edge compared to the either present competition or the prospective competition?
Well, I'll just say definitely first mover advantage is what we're trying to achieve. But yeah, other than that, I'll put it on to Nathan.
Yeah, I think it's all about, it is a strongly, you'll probably recognise there's a number of marketing backgrounds around entity and apart from the technology side. So the marketing side is enormously important. And that sounds trivial, but it really is very much when you're talking about social media, very much about getting into people's minds, the consumer, people who are using this, to understand what their motivations are. So that is really where our strength is. So if that's something that's difficult to put on paper, but that's just about the people, the heads in the room, that in the end, it's about the people that are going to be executing the plan, and that's what we are rolling out with that. So as I said before, around the technology side, strengthening that. If you go to the site right now, there's content there, but where we're moving forward is definitely in the app side, and there's a number of innovations around how we're bringing that content, and that's where the opportunity to further protect through IP protection will develop. But right now, you're right, in that somebody who, and this is why we're moving so quickly, and why we haven't slept much over the last 3 weeks, is that we know that the first mover opportunity is the only opportunity, the only advantage that we actually have right now. But having said that, talking to the gentleman from the ASX listed fund, he said, look, in the conversation I had with him, he said, I prefer to invest in you as opposed to going and doing this myself. I could put 3 guys in the corner, pay them plenty of money, but it's not about that. It's about knowing how to actually execute it and our vision of how we see this playing out as opposed to just money. Yeah. I hope that answers the questions. Yeah.
One further question from the panel.
Just a question about the advisory board member. Of course, you'd like the money, but What qualities are you missing that you're looking for in an advisory board member?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question because we have deliberately looked for some grey hair, so to speak. It's that is definitely the maturity that we're looking for is that runs on the board, and we're moving in that direction already. And that I've got Ian who has had exits already in Silicon Valley. He's actually about my age, so that's not much for the grey hair side. Greg is just bordering on some grey hair, but he has some excellent background as well in the corporate world. So those are strong areas. I think what we're really looking for from a tourism side to just ward off competitors is if we had, ideally, somebody with that name that has been involved in the travel space and either continues to be involved or has exited. Obviously a Graham Wood or Graham Turner, they're definitely the headlines. But anybody in the room here, I believe, could be a potential mentor for us. So we'd be happy to have that. Money or not involved, along the lines of some of the earlier discussion panel. We do see we recognise the importance of that experience, and we'd love to talk. Yeah. Okay.